My name is Rose. I am 58 years old, and I have been working as a secretary at my husband Philip's company for many years. Every morning, I wake up early, make breakfast, and go to work before him. I clean the office and prepare everything for his day. I always wanted him to have a smooth and stress-free day. We've been married for 30 years. We never had children, but we supported each other and lived a quiet life. At least, that's what I believed. I thought our love and respect were real, but I was wrong, very wrong. One day, Philip told me he wanted to introduce someone to me. I didn't think much about it. Maybe a new client, I thought. But then he walked in with a young woman. Her name was Sarah. She looked like she was ready for a night out, not a day at work. She wore a short skirt and a top that showed too much. She smiled brightly at me, but something about her made me feel cold. Philip said she would be my new coworker. He even said I should teach her how to be a secretary, just like me. I didn't understand. We had never hired someone so young or so inexperienced. When I asked about her age, Philip proudly said she was 23 and full of fresh energy. He said she would boost everyone's mood in the office. I stood there, unable to say anything. Then he left, leaving me alone with Sarah. She turned to me and asked my age. When I told her, she laughed. "You're as old as my grandma," she said. Her words were sharp. She said I looked tired and should stop working. She said Philip deserved someone young and beautiful like her. I tried to stay calm, but inside I was shocked and hurt. Sarah kept saying rude things, making fun of my age, my job, and even my marriage. Then she said something that made my heart drop. "Why don't you retire as Philip's wife, too?" she whispered. I couldn't believe it. She didn't just want my job. She wanted my husband. I told her to leave the company, but instead of fighting, she cried loudly. She acted like I had bullied her. Then she ran out of the room. I didn't understand what had just happened. It didn't feel real. A few minutes later, Sarah came back, this time with Philip. His face was angry. He shouted at me. "Why did you yell at her?" he asked. I tried to explain what she had said, but Sarah had already played her trick. She had recorded part of our talk, starting only when I raised my voice. On the recording, it sounded like I had attacked her for no reason. Philip didn't ask me anything. He just believed her. He fired me on the spot. After all the years I spent helping him, he threw me away like I meant nothing. I left the office in silence. My heart was heavy. I had worked so hard for him, for our company, and for our life together. And now, he replaced me with someone half my age. Days passed, then weeks. Then one day I got a call from the office. I was surprised. Maybe Philip had realized the truth? Maybe he wanted to apologize? I went back, full of hope. But when I opened the door, I saw Philip and Sarah holding hands. "We're getting married," Sarah said, smiling. Philip handed me divorce papers. "You're too old now," he said. I was quiet. I didn't cry. I simply signed the papers. But before I left, Sarah walked up to me and gave me something. It was a picture. A baby's ultrasound. "I'm pregnant," she whispered in my ear. "I'll be taking over as the president's wife." Then she laughed. That was the moment something inside me broke. I felt like my heart had been crushed. But I also felt something else. Strength. I wouldn't cry anymore. I wouldn't fight for a man who didn't respect me. But I also wouldn't forgive them. They would learn what they had done. 1 week later, I got a phone call. It was Sarah. Her voice was shaking. "Philip hasn't come home. Do you know where he is?" she asked. I smiled. "He's probably in Vegas," I said. "He goes there to gamble. I used to manage his schedule so he wouldn't go too often." She was quiet. She didn't know. She thought she married a perfect man, but she was just starting to see the truth. "He never told me about this," she whispered. "No, I said. He didn't want you to know. You only saw the mask he wore for you. A few days later, Philip showed up at my apartment. He was angry and red-faced. "How dare you tell her about my gambling?" he shouted. I let him in calmly. I wasn't scared, not anymore. He looked tired and stressed. "Did Sarah take control of the money?" I asked. "Are you living on an allowance now?" He was shocked. "How do you know that?" he asked. I smiled. "Because I've been there before. You used the same tricks on me. You promised big dreams, then wasted everything on your secret habits. Now you're just doing it all over again." Then I showed him something. The ultrasound photo Sarah gave me. It wasn't real. I had done a reverse image search and found the exact same picture on a blog from 2 years ago. "She lied," I said. "There is no baby." Philip's face turned white. He sank into a chair, speechless. "She tricked me," he whispered. "Yes," I replied. "Just like you tricked me." He was shaking, unable to speak. I could see everything crashing down around him. I had spent 30 years cleaning his mess. But this time, I would let him drown in it. I called Sarah and asked her to come over. She arrived quickly and looked angry when she saw Philip with me. "Are you trying to take him back?" she yelled. "Don't be stupid," I said. "You should listen to him." Philip looked at her and asked, "Is the pregnancy real?" Sarah froze. Her face changed. "Yes," she shouted. "You saw the picture." Philip held up the blog post and photo. "You copied it," he said. Sarah dropped to the floor crying, but I didn't believe her. "You lied to trap him," I said, "and now the truth is out." Sarah tried to act sweet again. She said, "Let's have a real baby now. We'll be happy." But I laughed. "With what money?" I asked. "Philip has none. He used company money for gambling. He even bought you that ring with stolen money." Sarah looked shocked. "You said we'd be rich," she screamed at Philip. He tried to calm her, but she was furious. "You're just a broke old man," she shouted. Then she stormed out and slammed the door. Philip looked at me, broken and empty. "Can we start over?" he asked. "No," I said. "I never want to see you again." Soon after that day, Philip was arrested. Joseph, his brother, pressed charges. He had stolen too much money, and the law couldn't ignore it. Philip thought he would be saved, but no one came for him. Not me. Not Sarah. She was also arrested for scamming other men. She had lied about pregnancy many times before. They were both trapped in their own lies now. I felt peaceful. For the first time in years, I could breathe without pain. I didn't need revenge. Life had already given them what they deserved. And I had finally escaped their shadows. Joseph offered me my job back. He said I had always been honest and loyal. He gave me more responsibilities and better pay. We worked hard to fix the damage Philip had done. It wasn't easy, but step by step, the company started to heal. Joseph treated me with respect, not like Philip. He listened to my ideas, trusted my work, and always spoke kindly. I felt like a real partner, not just someone standing behind a man. I wasn't just working again. I was building something new, something of my own. And this time, I would not be left behind. One evening, Joseph and I had dinner with some clients. Everything went well. After the dinner, Joseph smiled at me. "You're amazing, Rose," he said. "We couldn't have done this without you." His words warmed my heart. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. I smiled back. "Thank you," I said. Joseph nodded. "Let's keep working together. This company needs you." I agreed, not just because of work, but because I believed in myself again. I had fallen so far, but I had stood back up. And now I was ready to rise even higher. Now I wake up each day with strength. I don't cook breakfast for someone who ignored me. I make my own plans. I work with purpose. I smile because I choose to, not because I have to. My past was painful, but I survived. I am no longer a forgotten wife or a silent helper. I am Rose. I have power, wisdom, and peace. My old life ended, but a new one has started. And in this life, no one else writes my story. I do. And I will write it with pride, strength, and truth until the very end.